So I'm gonna tell you something that most guys won't admit, and that's that building muscle as a shorter guy is a lot faster. You, as a shorter guy, will build muscle a lot faster than a taller person. And there's a few reasons why that's true. And I'm not saying this just to say this, I'm not BSing you. I've actually experienced this in my life as I've coached other people as well from all different shapes and sizes, taller and shorter, bigger and smaller. Everything points to the fact that shorter guys build muscle a lot faster. And there's physical reasons why that's true. And there are also societal and mental benefits to building muscle as a shorter guy. I think you actually build a lot more confidence as a shorter dude than a taller person building muscle. And I'm gonna tell you why. So let's stay on the physical aspect of this, okay? So the first reason is that you have, as you can see, actually, I'll be the demonstration. As you can see, short dude, my arms are not that long, my legs are not that long. So what does that mean? It means less range of motion, or not even range of motion, but less distance that the weights need to travel in order to put tension on the muscle, in order to achieve mechanical tension, which is the primary driver of muscle growth, is mechanical tension, the force exerting against the resistance from whatever muscle you're using. Now think about that. If that's the number one driver and you have shorter limbs and shorter joints, it'd be a lot easier. Like you could just look at your gym. If you walk into the gym and you see, if you put two guys side by side bench pressing, let's say bench pressing. If you put a shorter guy on one bench and a taller guy on the other bench, you can see the shorter guy appears to be stronger because he doesn't have to travel as far. And not even just appears to be stronger, the shorter guy might actually be stronger than a taller guy, because a taller guy has to go an extra foot or two just to get the weight up. You only have to go right here as a shorter dude. So if you're getting stronger and you're able to progressively overload more, and you can put more mechanical tension on the muscle, then if you're laying all those facts out, to me that sounds like you build muscle a lot faster. Your body's built for physics. You need to understand, we are all human beings, but our bodies, depending on your stature and your frame, are capable of different things. And us as shorter guys, we are capable of putting muscle quicker on our frame because our joints are designed for hypertrophy. Our joints are, physics was actually made for us more than it was for taller guys, believe it or not. Even later on in life, the taller guys, depending on how well they take care of themselves, they're gonna have more joint issues, more mobility issues, because of the length of all their limbs. Some people are too tall for their own good at the end of their life. But that's a topic for a different video. As a shorter guy, your body is literally made to build muscle. Shorter range of motion, more mechanical tension, more progressive overload. If you're doing things properly, of course, you will build muscle faster. And not only will you build muscle faster, but you don't even need to put on the same amount of size that a taller guy needs to put on in order to look bigger. You as a shorter dude, even I as a shorter guy, I say this, I'm 145 pounds right now. I'm not that heavy, I'm very light, but I look 20 pounds heavier than I actually am. And I'm not just gassing myself up. Everybody that speaks to me tells me that I look like I'm 160, 165, and I'm 145. I'm not that heavy, but we have smaller frames. We have smaller structure. So the more size you put on, it's more compact. It doesn't have to go far. The surface area is not that big. So it actually makes you appear bigger with less added tissue. You're telling me that you only have to put on 20 pounds less than the taller guy, and you think working out is hard as a shorter dude? Bro, I wish I knew this. I wish I knew this back then. I didn't know all the science and everything, but I saw quickly that when I started to work out around 15, 16 years old, that I could tell that I was physically bigger and appear bigger quickly within months of training, because I had newbie gains and I had a shorter frame. So if you're somebody who hasn't even started training yet, combine newbie gains with a shorter frame, a shorter stature, mechanical tension, more progressive overload, less range of motion, or less distance traveled, you have a deadly combination for muscle building. All you need is a few months, realistically, if you put your head down and you actually do what you need to do and your diet's on point and your training's on point. You only need a few months as a shorter guy. You have an advantage physically. Yes, the taller guys are going to be able to play all the sports, of course. But when it comes to hypertrophy and strength training, you are at an advantage. Use that to your advantage. So mechanical tension, you don't need to put on as much muscle. And you don't even need to worry about watching your food too much. Because we don't need as much food as the taller guys do to grow. The taller you are, the more energy your body needs to recover and to build muscle. So we don't even need that much food to put on muscle. So now you're doing three things. Now you have better mechanical tension, you don't need to grow as much, and you don't need to eat as much to grow. That's crazy. When you actually say it out loud and you think about it, you have these three advantages to put yourself in a higher level of physical attraction and just mental confidence overall. And that's actually going to lead into my last point, is that when you are a shorter guy and you put on a decent amount of muscle and you have a great physique and you take care of your hygiene, which it's not the point of this video, but let's just talk about the fitness. You take care of your physique, you transform your physique, and you build a high level physique. Even sometimes average, but let's say you build a high level physique, one that actually takes discipline, one that takes hitting most of your meals and training hard all the time and recovering properly and actually intentionally trying to build muscle. Let's say you build that kind of physique. It is more impressive than a taller guy putting on muscle. And this is why, okay? Let's say you're a shorter guy and a tall guy that builds an elite level physique, all right? Those achievements are at the same level. You did the same thing. You built the same level of physique. You did the same diet, same training, all that stuff. So you're here, right? But as a shorter guy, your expectations from society are at the ground. Because let's be real, there is an inherent value to taller guys. They get more respect. The world expects that they're going to achieve greatness already because they're tall. They already have a perception in the world that they're going to achieve great things because of their stature. As for shorter dudes, the world doesn't really expect you to achieve a lot. Because of at the end of the day, it's because of your height. It sucks to say, and it might sound shallow, but it's the truth of the world. That's just the world we live in. You can't do anything about that except control what you can control. But if your expectations from society are on the ground and you two are on the same level, that gap between the expectations and the achievements is way bigger. So when you actually close that gap, now people are actually going to be shocked because they weren't expecting much of you to begin with. As for the taller guy, he's already tall. He already has women. He already has opportunities just from being tall. So that gap is not that big. But again, the shorter guys, our gap is huge. Our gap is large. And now you can choose whether you want to be the person that leaves that gap as wide as it is, or you can slowly start closing that gap more and more. And that's not just in fitness. That's an overall life experience, social skills, learning how to communicate properly, being yourself authentically, being secure in your own skin, being comfortable in your own skin. accepting your height. And like, listen, I've been there before where I wanted to, at one point in my life, I wanted to leave this earth permanently because of my height. There was a point in my life where I didn't think I wanted to be here anymore, simply because I'm a short guy. I used to actually believe that. I used to believe that my life meant nothing because I was short and skinny. I used to believe that. And then one day it switched, it flipped, that I can actually achieve up here and that it doesn't matter how tall I am. That what matters is how I look at myself. And if you look at yourself in a negative way because of something you can't control, that's the energy you're going to put out into the world. But if you choose to do the opposite and you actually take control and you accept it, acceptance is the first step of anything. Anything in life, acceptance is the first step. Accept the reality, choose whether to change it or not. So if you accept the cards that you were dealt with, and you choose to start closing that gap every day, you will be rewarded. And society will be shocked. And you will be more respected. You will be more respected than the tall guy that achieved greatness because his expectations were already high. Your expectations were low, so the moment you achieve greatness, more respect. You get more respect. And I'm not just saying that to say it. I lived that life. I've been able to create opportunities for myself because of my physique, because of how I communicate. I'm at this point in my life because I put my head down, I learned what I needed to learn, I did what I needed to do, and became competent. Because life doesn't just happen to you. Life happens because of you. The choices that you make, how you look at yourself as a person. And the moment you start to do that, that's the moment that life changes. And I know, like I just went on a whole motivational tangent on a video about fitness and building muscle. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of guys that watch these videos, they want to build muscle because they want to feel more confident, which is fair. I think that's what majority of people in the gym want to do when they're training, is obviously feel more confident. And I want you to understand, as a shorter guy, the amount of confidence that you will have when you use these advantages. The shorter range of motion, mechanical tension, the fact that you don't have to eat as much. You still have to eat a good amount, but you don't have to eat as much. And the fact that you don't have to put on a lot of size, that's just the physical aspect of it. But the confidence that's going to come from that physical, the work, is going to be through the roof. And it'll be reciprocated by the universe. And you'll start to see that my height doesn't actually matter. And people will respect you way more. Because you're already the underdog. Us short guys, we are the underdogs of the world. And that's perfectly fine. I love being an underdog. I love achieving shit when people think I couldn't achieve shit. I love that feeling. I love when people have low expectations of me and I surpass them. I love that. I feed off of that. And you should feed off of that too. Because when you win, when people don't think you're going to win, that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling when you win and people don't want you to win. I know that for a fact. So use these advantages, these 3 things I talked about, work on your physical so that your mental can also get some of that work and you can start to close that gap in your life. Because the more you start to close that gap, you will see that life changes for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something. And if you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, share your thoughts, share your stories, where you're at in your life or where you want to go. And if you want to book a one-on-one call, the link is going to be in the description. If you want to transform your mindset and your physique as a shorter individual, book a call, we'll talk, figure it out, go from there. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one.